This is being reborn as Sasuke in Konoha Part 3. Hope you guys like it. Chapter 11, V.1C.11 Mangekyo Sharingan I. At night, within another area of the Uchiha compound outside of the village, a meeting was taking place, now where even Shisui is included. Some of you may be aware, but my son, Itachi, has joined the Anbu. Being in close vicinity to the Hokage and the top ranks means more information. It was Fugaku that was speaking to a lot of Uchiha present within this stone-cold room. And that is a boon for the Uchiha clan. Itachi, do you have anything to report? Well. Itachi stood up from the back, with everyone directing their attention towards him. I'm still new, so there is not much to report. However, I don't think there is solidarity in the higher ranks of the Leaf. It is my belief that how the Uchiha clan deals with this will determine the future of the Hidden Leaf. Exactly. By all rights, the Uchiha clan must be involved in the future of the Hidden Leaf. Fugaku said with passion, leading to many standing up or calling out their agreement. Sasuke knew that the time was drawing near now, meaning he had to do something he was both anticipating, and only up until recently dreading to do. Taking himself away from the main Uchiha compound, and instead coming somewhere secluded in the middle of the night, Sasuke had made sure to take Kuro with himself as well. His body heavy with fatigue, as he fought against the relatively new gravity seals, making it difficult to move. It has only been a few days now and I am having trouble adjusting still. Sasuke threw his current physical struggles to the back of his mind for now, and instead focused on his current mission. It had been 2 years now since entering the Ninja Academy, and ever since then Sasuke was forced to deal with the same, if not similar attention the original had to deal with. Albeit, Sasuke had taken it upon himself, oh so kindly, to make sure Sakura and Ino wouldn't becoming annoying. I didn't even want to be a part of the academy as well. Sasuke had other plans, which came crashing down once he was semi-forced into joining. I am not even through the first semester yet, and it is boring me. Kuro the cat meowed, painfully awakening Sasuke from his distracting, on purpose, thoughts from the task at hand. Sorry, Kuro. The black cat obviously has no idea what has gone on, and has, over the years developed at least a small amount, or inkling or positive emotions regarding Sasuke. Sasuke felt the same as well, but... Kuro, please stay still. Stealing his mind, Sasuke had brought out a kunai, sharpened as to make sure it would not be painful, and quick. Sasuke's mind wandered again. I also didn't expect myself to take Naruto's place with Hinata being bullied. After all, it was that exact event that led to Hinata developing a crush on Naruto, instead now being focused on Sasuke. Especially since, Naruto's presence in on itself has held a similar impact on Hinata's desires, or motivations. Instead, the affection she would share for Naruto had become Sasuke's instead, leading to him having to move Hinata in another direction. A direction that would ensure she would be of some use, as it could be argued that her pursuits in life meant she is even more useless than Sakura. I know. But to be honest, the original Sakura had done a whole lot more for people on a whole, but I also see that the strength that Hinata wanted, and what I expect she wants now is formed around the idea of family. What with my interference now as well, Sakura and Ino are at least slowly changing. I hope. Sasuke of course has no control over the actions others take to improve themselves, or help those around them. Yet. Sharingan flaring to life, Sasuke's eyes started at what he would at this point consider a family member of sorts. Damn it! Sasuke exclaimed, but was not so emotional as to risk himself being discovered. Refocusing himself, Sasuke pulled his kunai back and plunged it into the animal, whom was thrown into a genjutsu. Blood. Blood, and more blood. Or at least that was what it seemed like, given that this is officially the first life that Sasuke had taken intentionally. Sasuke's eyes, Sharingan red eyes blurred and started to transform into something new. Is this blood? Sasuke was still seeing the world through the view of the Sharingan, which paints the world red. Kuro. No more thoughts would be given this night for the cat, and possibly even more. No tears dropped, however, Sasuke had completed what needed to be done, making sure to cover the traces and absolutely everything possible in his steps. The secluded area would have the lingering smell of fire, but that didn't matter for Sasuke was willing to do so much more if this didn't work. Again, stealing his mind, Sasuke thought. Power always comes at a price, and while I mourn, I am also happy that I do not have to sacrifice anything else for this. Brining his hand up to his face, Sasuke closed his now Mangekyo Sharingan eyes, deactivating them. There is no purpose for existence, and I do not exist on purpose. I do not belong anywhere, and everything dies. Sasuke said this mantra to himself, reinforcing why he had done this. Everybody dies, but I. Sasuke left off there. Team Shisui has returned and our mission was successfully completed. Shisui reported, along with his team where they all kneeled, reporting to the third Hokage. There was a long mission. Thank you for your hard work. Go and rest. The third Hokage replied. I have a request, Lord Third. Shisui said. Skipping over, Shisui is now alone with the Hokage, away from prying eyes and ears as Shisui is ready to report other things. I'm very troubled by the suspicion cast upon the Uchiha clan. So am I. Hiruzen replied. I'm hoping that my clan and the village will be able to trust each other again. Will you assign this mission to me? Shisui questioned. Do you want to be released from your regular duties? Hiruzen asked in return. Yes. And I'd like to be given a certain amount of authority. Shisui replied. All right, let's say that I ordered you on a top-secret investigation mission. If anyone objects, tell them my name, and I will take full responsibility. Hiruzen said, starting to walk away. Thank you. Shisui turned around to face Hiruzen as he walked. You remind me so much of my old friend, Kigami Uchiha. Hiruzen said. I am nowhere near his caliber. Shisui replied, head bowed as Hiruzen spoke of Shisui's direct ancestor. Again, within the same place Itakai and Shisui met last time. So you were back. Yeah. We finally chased the hidden mist away. Shisui replied. Why did you want to see me? Itakai asked. I want to hear your honest opinion. How serious do you think your father, Fugaku, is? What do you mean by serious? A coup d'etat. Itakai then said. Dissatisfaction towards the village is growing among the Uchiha. If the village doesn't change, the Uchiha won't stand for it anymore. If the village changes, so will the Uchiha. Shisui said. But if the Uchiha doesn't change, neither will the village. As long as the two sides distrust each other, things will only get worse. Itakai finished for Shisui. I want to clear up that suspicion. Shisui said. You think you can? Itakai questioned. I don't know, but I have to try. If the Uchiha attempts a coup d'etat, it will bode badly for both sides. Shisui said. I'm against a coup d'etat as well. But it will take something big to stop it. Itakai replied. I know, but you shouldn't do anything. Why's that? Some members on the police force are suspicious of you, and I've been ordered to spy on you. As Shisui finished, Itakai had a look of surprise, and if not a little bit of hurt. In the year of a conflict started between Konoha and Iwa, of the third Sasuke's reign, the relative peace of the village known as Konoha is a sham. An illusion, for there brews a conflict not only outside but from within as well. So I take it didn't go well. Shisui directed towards Itakai, where the both of them are outside, in a secluded area. A cliff and waterfall could also be seen as the two people interact with each other. I'm sorry. Itakai replied stoically. I did everything I could but the only thing I could accomplish was delay the plan. This is a coup by our entire clan. We always knew it wouldn't be easy to dissuade them. The one who replied goes by the name of Shisui Uchiha, where even by Uchiha standards, Shisui was noted to be one of the most talented members the famed clan ever had. Danza even hailed him as the strongest Uchiha of his time. His abilities allowed him to become a Jonin 4 years into being a shinobi and eventually a captain of his own squad. His prowess was so widely known that an entire squad of Kiranin quickly chose to flee upon learning of his presence rather than to confront him. Their will to make this happen is much stronger than what we anticipated. Shisui continued as the setting sun casted rays of brilliant light. That said, delaying the plan is still a great result. And how about you? You said you were going to try and find some allies. Itakai questioned. I'm afraid it's not going well. For better or for worse, they are a part of the Uchiha clan, so their bond is strong. Shisui responded, as Itakai seemed a bit down, in contrast to his usual appearance at Shisui's words. Oh come on. Don't give me that look. Remember, this is you and me that we're talking about, Itakai. Shisui got up and walked towards Itakai, placing his hand on Itakai's shoulder. So don't worry. It'll be fine. Letting go, Shisui continues. In any case, you keep an eye out and work from the inside. I'll work on finding another way. Shisui's internal thoughts traveled towards the relationship between Itakai and his younger brother, Sasuke. It's great to be a family. I can't help but feel that every time I see those two. I won't allow the clan's schemes to destroy things like this. No matter what I have to resort to. No matter what I have to resort to. I'll put a stop to it. Shisui vowed within his mind, before Itakai went on to explain he is to go on a short mission the next day. Okay, good luck with that. Goodbye. Itakai said his farewell. What? The voice of Fugaku could be heard, as from the shadows, Sasuke was able to mask himself well enough as Fugaku, along with Mikoto that sat there listening, spoke with Itakai. Do you know what day it is tomorrow? You do not understand your own position. I'm setting out on a mission tomorrow. Itakai replied. What kind of mission? Fugaku questioned. I can't tell you. It's top secret. Itakai replied, his voice low but steady. Itakai. You also serve as the Uchiha's pipeline to the village nerve center. You know that, don't you? Yes. Itakai replied. Keep that in mind, and come to tomorrow's assembly. Fugaku said not a word more, leading to Sasuke understanding what is to come. Soon. What is it, Lord Danza? It's almost time for the assembly to start. Shisui said. Even if you use your visual jutsu on Fugaku to get the clan to cooperate, what if the village doesn't change? Danza, the one-eyed man said, asking and tempting Shisui without Shisui knowing his intentions. Soon indeed. Within the shadows, Sasuke was present but hiding his presence as best he could from all of the Anbu ninja present. This is dangerous, but I must do what I must. Sasuke should be at the academy right now, but this event is important enough for him to risk being seen, along with risk being noticed that he is gone in the academy. Lord Hokage has promised to make it change. Shisui seemed content in that knowledge. Even if Lord Third is satisfied, the distrust among the Leaf will not go away. I realize that. But in time Shisui was interrupted this time. Besides, someone that is always suspicious, like me, will never change. What will you do then? Danza said. But Lord Danza. When the time comes, will you use your Kotomatsu Kami on me as well? Shisui had no immediate answer. Your Sharingan shall be in my safekeeping. Danza exclaimed as he got closer to Shisui. Comment. 18 comments. Vote. 1 left. Chapter 12, V.1C.12 Mangekyo Sharingan 2. Your Sharingan shall be in my safekeeping. Danza exclaimed as he got closer to Shisui. Forgive me. Danza went in, his hand flying straight towards Shisui's eye, but Shisui was able to stop him completely in his tracks. It's only genjutsu. You'll snap out of it shortly. Shisui said before leaving Danza and walking away. Sasuke, with his body hidden, was within the body of a bird with many others controlled via his Sharingan genjutsu. This is going to be interest. For it was any second now, before Shisui is attacked. Then it happened. Shisui punched right in his guts, surprised by Danza who has broken out of the illusion he had been put under. Punched left, center, under the chin, Shisui is stunned for a short period of time, long enough for Danza to grab Shisui by his hair and drag him close. Now. Sasuke thought internally, where multiple birds came out of the woodworks and started doing their practiced move sets as they were controlled by Sasuke's genjutsu via his Sharingan. Danza notices the commotion, but still goes in for the metaphorical kill. Danza's hand goes straight towards Shisui's face, plunging right into his eye socket, and proceeding to rip Shisui's right eye out. Shisui jumps backwards after this, kneeling on the ground with blood marring his face, whilst Sasuke in a bird's body directed the flock towards Danza before he implanted Shisui's eye. Come on. What is this? Anbu. Danza called out, but the birds attacked, but Danza skillfully dodged the birds, distracted and slowed down enough for Sasuke in his own controlled bird body to forcefully rip Shisui's right eye from Danza's hand. Having marked the bird body with a Hirashin seal, all Sasuke needs to do now is escape this area with Iron Claw, as he can teleport himself to where the bird is instantly after his consciousness comes back to his body. Anbu Ninja appeared, and Danza ordered them to immediately go after Sasuke within the bird's body, easily identifiable due to the eye in the bird's claw. Shisui on the other hand is surprised to see Danza's bandaging on his face come undone, revealing that Danza had a Sharingan eye underneath. Sharingan. Shisui thought internally, his surprise clearly evident on his face. Damn it. Get that bird. We were betrayed. The traitor, Shisui Uchiha, has gone against Konoha and its peace. Danza immediately connected that the birds were under the influence of a Sharingan's control, but is wrong in assuming that this is Shisui's fault. Looking towards Shisui, Danza clenched his teeth before saying, "This is not how it was supposed to go." A few of the Anbu ninjas had stayed behind, whilst others headed off into the forest, trying to track down this one bird. "I was going to take it to replace this eye. Give me the other one." Shisui, also knowing some other intruder had just taken his eye from Danza, had to deal with the problem in front of himself first. Fire style, fireball jutsu. Shisui thought internally, as he went through some hand seals quickly. A large fireball emanated from Shisui, which was countered by the Anbu ninja as they used water style, raging waves. This gave Shisui the ability to escape much more easily due to the unknown intruder that had just stolen away Shisui's eye from Danza. "It's a teleportation jutsu," one of the Anbu, whom are Anbu members, said. "Go after him," Danza exclaimed, whilst looking in the direction the bird that took the eye he wanted went. "Something is suspicious. Something is not right, and I need to find the person involved with this." Was Shisui expecting this from the start? Or was this the plan of another, already predicting and knowing my intentions? Danza contemplated to himself. Night, with the moon in its crescent formation, stood above the world looking down on the two friends, Shisui and Itakai, within an area they frequently went to. "It's too late to stop the coup d'etat by the Uchiha," Shisui said, his back turned to Itakai. "If civil war breaks out in the Leaf Village, other nations are sure to attack, which means a full-scale war. I was going to try to stop the coup d'etat with Kotomatsu Kami, but Lord Danza took my right eye." Shisui turned around to face Itakai, before continuing. "He doesn't trust me. He intends to protect the village his own way, no matter what it takes or how it looks. I suspect he'll come after my left eye as well, especially given that someone else intervened and took my right eye from him. So, I want to give it to you before Danza, or the other intervener, has a chance." Shisui finished. "Shisui," Itakai thought, shaking just a little, fearing what might happen. "You are the only person I can count on, my best friend. Please protect this village, and the honor of the Uchiha name." Shisui finished, having dug out his left eye and held it out towards Itakai to take. A raven flies down from the night sky, dispersing into nothing but black feathers as it takes the eye from Shisui's extending arm, from his hand. "I accept it." Itakai's eyes now blared to life, his Sharingan activated. "What will you do now?" "If I die, several circumstances will change. I've left behind a note already." Shisui stepped backwards. "Wait, Shisui!" Itakai exclaimed, catching on to what Shisui is going to do. "Don't stop me, Itakai," Shisui said, continuing in his thoughts. "If you are my friend." "Shisui!" Itakai called out, closing his eyes as he does before opening them again to reveal his very own Mangekyo Sharingan. Going back to Sasuke, the bird he was in control of had fully lost the Anbu ninja, and just to make sure he had used his sensory capabilities to affirm his thoughts. "Easily enough, the Yamanaka clan's jutsu is just useful that I am still able to access my sensory abilities." Sasuke thought to himself, having gained distance enough. Time to reawaken then. Sasuke proceeded to release his hold on the bird whilst it is in the air, his consciousness instantly getting back to his body, and immediately activating the mark for the Hirashin seal. Sasuke transported himself across a large enough distance to further tire his chakra reserves. "Doing all of this has not only drained me mentally and physically, but also in regards to my chakra as well, otherwise I would have went through and even taken Sasuke's other eye as well. Sasuke thought to himself, now midair but unafraid, having practiced in the event this happens. The bird now released, strained, fell down and released the eye that it was holding. Sasuke, through a series of practiced moves, was able to freely gather the eye safely, and at the same time land safely as well. Checking once again, Sasuke activated his sensory ability and extended it to make sure there is no one else around, or spying in on him. No one. Good. Having designed a seal in preparation for this event to specifically seal the eye in perfect condition, so once he is skilled enough, he may implant Sasuke's eye into himself. I am unsure if this is going to even work, but it is worth the try to see whether or not I am able to get the main Gekyo Sharingan this way. Even more so due to the capabilities behind Kotomatsu Kami, in that I should be able to be safe, at least against everyone else that doesn't have the Rinnegan. Then again, the Rinnegan is only immune to Genjutsu that is visual based, so there is no telling if I even have Kotomatsu Kami to be used. Sasuke finished his thoughts, as he proceeded to seal the eye not on a paper, but on his body, for this eye is of great importance. Turning towards the knocked out bird, Sasuke activated his main Gekyo Sharingan. Amaterasu. Black flames emerged and engulfed the bird, completely removing any trace of Sasuke's involvement, as he cleaned himself of the scene. Going back through the Hirashin mark he left in his room, Sasuke immediately went to bed with a big smile on his face. However, his excitement at having gotten Kotomatsu Kami was overpowering his need to sleep. I guess I will be staying up for a little while yet. Sasuke's smile shouldn't have faded, but he is reminded that the results he gained came at a cost. Of course, this in combination with the impending doom the Uchiha are facing doesn't bode well, as well. I am at least going to save my mother from the massacre. Sasuke knew that there is no turning back now, giving Itachi a clear path to his descent into madness. Because what Itachi is to do can only be madness. I do not have the power to overcome Itachi, and I have no idea how to circumvent Fugaku's plans, and the Hidden Lead's leadership's plans. Frowning, Sasuke looked up at his ceiling, feeling rather lonely as he misses the black cat laying at the bottom of his bed. I need to learn medical ninjutsu. And the only way to start learning is to try the hospital, given that there should be at least a few doctors there that know of this technique. Sasuke however doubted that anyone would teach him as of his current self. I also only have about a year left now before the massacre. Time is definitely running out, and I need to spend some time doing too many things. From spending time at the academy, training independently on his own, creating methods, or ways to circumvent certain events and the pressure of the Uchiha being massacred. Sasuke held no ill feeling towards them, but also didn't hold any positive emotion either. In fact, he saw most people as his enemies as soon as he set himself certain goals in this world, including anyone who is good and bad. No matter. Sasuke whispered quietly to himself, before continuing inwardly. No one will stop me from my goals. The Uchiha are not a clan cursed by hatred, but a clan cursed with passion, for these eyes I have trained and gained are the result of such passion. It doesn't matter good or bad, negative or positive, it has been proven that the evolution of the Sharingan reacts to emotions. Strong emotions, and the only way I know how to cultivate strong emotions is to remain and strengthen one's bonds. Difficult as it may be, Sasuke made sure to isolate himself as much as possible and grow attached to Kuro so that he may awaken the main Gekyo Sharingan. What comes next won't be pretty. Sasuke said to himself in his room. I will find a way to circumvent Itachi's massacre for my mother, at the very least. Sasuke had grown aware that Mikoto was only in a political type marriage with Fugaku. Then there are the children. Of course, Sasuke is a child himself right now, but that didn't change the fact that Itachi would show no mercy against anyone. Rather, he would even kill the young, old, man or woman, all the same. Even the children. Sasuke's eye blazed red, his Sharingan activated. I guess I can try and save some innocent people as well, but with only a year to prepare. Sasuke feared what he would be able to do, other than trying to control or manipulate the situation. There is no way the Uchiha would be left alone. The same could be said for the village of Konoha as well, given their growing negative feelings against them. I am slightly surprised that Fugaku doesn't just leave with the Uchiha. Sure, Konohagakure was established by an Uchiha, alongside a Senju, but doesn't mean we are forced to stay here. Wait a minute. Sasuke exclaimed, but quickly calmed himself, as he caught his bumble. Whoops. Got to pretend I am in bed. It was only a moment later that Mikoto had come into his room, checking up on Sasuke. Sasuke. Her voice called, but Sasuke remained immobile, as if asleep. Is he asleep? Then what was that noise earlier? Mikoto questioned if she was hearing anything. Right now, originally she should be with Fugaku in the Uchiha assembly, however she was always as uninvolved as she could be. Knowing Fugaku, if I ever told him that Sasuke is one of the Jinchurikis for the Kyuubi. Mikoto shook her head left and right, before quietly leaving Sasuke's room and probably going back to bed herself. Comment. 21 comments. Vote. 1 left. Chapter 13, V.1C.13 Mangekyo Sharingan 3. Suspicions never failed to continue growing, and did fail to abate and recede. The Uchiha are now dead set on achieving their goals, under the leadership of the current Uchiha clan head, Fugaku Uchiha Konohigakyo, and their leadership, namely Hiruzen Sarutobi, Danza Shimura and a minimal few others have also slowly reached a point of no return. Following the nine-tailed demon fox's attack, Konohigakyo's leadership began to suspect that the Uchiha were behind the attack due to the Sharingan's ability to control the beast. From that point onwards, the Uchiha were placed under close surveillance, which was accomplished by forcing all Uchiha to live in one section of the village. Of course, even before that the Uchiha had a district to themselves entirely outside of the village's premises already. This only made it all the more easier for Konohigakyo's leadership to force the Uchiha to live there. This mistrust and isolation from the rest of the village created feelings of ill will amongst the Uchiha, and ultimately rekindled the hatred harbored towards the Senju-influenced government. As such, the Uchiha, led by Fugaku Uchiha, began planning a coup d'état to overthrow the Konoha leadership. In preparation for the coup, the Uchiha started inserting its members within Konoha's command structure to act as spies. Itakai was placed in the Anbu, the direct arm of the Hokage. However, Itakai did not agree with the Uchiha's plans, believing the coup would only escalate into another Shinobi World War. As such, he turned double agent, providing Konoha with information on the Uchiha's plans. The third Hokage, who did not agree with the treatment of the Uchiha following the nine-tailed fox incident, tried to find a peaceful resolution with the clan. Danza Shimura, however, did not believe negotiations would solve anything and felt eliminating all the Uchiha would cause the least bloodshed. The Uchiha noticed Itakai's strange behavior and tasked Shisui Uchiha with keeping an eye on him. Shisui, a close friend of Itakai, shared his opposition to the coup. When peace talks started to break down, Shisui attempted to use his Mangekyo Sharingan's Kotomatsu Kami to force the Uchiha's leaders to change their minds. Danza felt this was a waste of Kotomatsu Kami's rare usage, as it could only be used once every 10 years, and nearly took Shisui's right eye for himself before Shisui had a chance to use it. Having failed and fearful that Danza would try and take his other eye, too, Shisui entrusted his left eye to Itakai before committing suicide. After finding his body, the Uchiha believed Shisui, whom they had sent to spy on Itakai, had been murdered by Itakai and that he had staged Shisui's suicide and, as such, no longer trusted him. Although he still wanted to find a non-violent solution, Shisui's death convinced Itakai that events could no longer be stopped. He became outwardly critical of the clan's actions and hostile towards individual members, which will unfortunately lead to some rather unsavory results. In preparation, Sasuke had to further cut back the time he spends among those that would consider him their friends. Specifically those from the ninja training academy. Different from the original Sasuke, whom seemed to be rather cold towards his peers, this version of Sasuke is ultimately different but the same in a way. Cold-like, but not someone that seems to want to be alone or anything like that. Instead, Sasuke knows fully well the power one could wield or gain through having friends or at the very least allies, for even Sasuke knows that he can't do everything on his own. Neither could anyone else. The first steps to saving others is a heart of steel, resolved in their choice that if things go wrong, they will not look back. Second, of course, once the emotions are settled, one must now ignite their mind like a cold machine working towards the result one wants. But results may not be had without a process to the solution. A problem that needs to be filled in to receive the proper answer for the equation. The Uchiha incident, the massacre boils down to a few elements. One being Itachi, the Uchiha as a whole, Danza and the rest of the Konoha leadership, and their conflicts with each other. Goals, desires and ambitions must also be taken into account, for motivations also heavily impact the act. The next process is after analysis of all factors one can possibly factor is what needs to be input in between to achieve the result, the answer one wants. Not only that, but the variables need to be minimized to their absolute limit. With Sasuke's current abilities, he could safely arrive and save a few people of the Uchiha, which Itachi, unfortunately, had become disillusioned with. I admit, the Uchiha were most certainly not on the right path, however at the same time. One simply does not kill their family and put their younger brother into a coma, traumatizing them in the process. Sasuke wouldn't even give Itachi the chance to use Tsukuyomi on him by evading the Uchiha district until Sasuke for sure knew Itachi left. In fact, that is exactly how I plan to distract my mother, through dragging her along into Konoha. Specifically by using Naruto as an excuse to visit their house on that day. The next step after the planning process is act, where the individual would have to start pushing, pulling and manipulating everything into their positions. To get a result of 2, from 1 plus 2, the individual would have to somewhere along the way add a negative to the equation. In Sasuke's case, to save the innocent Uchiha, he would and had started to spend time amongst the common populace within the Uchiha. Becoming semi-known throughout the Uchiha clan due to him forcing himself to become known allowed him to gather information. It is hard to determine whom I can save, and who I shouldn't. Sasuke had started to feel the pressure behind the level of decisions those at a higher level may face. Is this how the Hokage feels? Is this how that bastard, Danza, feels? Or have they grown numb to such decisions? For sure, the children Sasuke is going to save, for Hiraishin marks had been set up upon them. At this point, using Kotomatsu Kami would not fix anything. But as time passes, I have managed to acquire the technique for medical ninjutsu. Soon enough, I will implant Shisei's eye, which might or might not grant me the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan in one eye. After all steps has been taken, from the initial goal or passion born from some feeling, the analysis and acquirement of all factors in the problem, to the planning with adequate variable minimization, and manipulation of factors to suit one's needs, the last part is the execution of the plan. Based on many, if not all factors, it would seem that the Uchiha are patriarchal in nature, not to say there are not powerful female Uchiha, but the way it is structured, most, if not all involved in the soon-to-be coup d'etat are men. Darkness brews within the hearts of people, but this darkness or shadow is not born out of nothingness, for the light is the bearer of shadows. Many of the females and civilians within the Uchiha clan had been marked as innocent, as very few civilian Uchiha were even involved in the meetings. After all, the Uchiha is a ninja clan, and Konohagakure is a ninja-based village. So, obviously the civilians wouldn't be involved as much. However, even then, Itachi would kill everyone. Everyone except myself, all because Danza manipulates everything. Sasuke could go meet Danza, and try to use Kotomatsu Kami, but he still some time for his body to grow a bit more before he could implant the eye. I am limited by my physical frame. There were not many areas Sasuke could think of to evacuate the Uchiha, and not many scenarios where he would be able to safely secure them all. After the event, it may be possible to bring the ones saved back, but that just spells trouble. However, there is a grand possibility that the third Hokage would be able to take hold after then. Sasuke's eyes flashed with the Sharingan. If not, then I may have to implant Shisei's eye sooner than I wanted to and use it. I just hope that I don't have to, but if I really want to minimize the possibilities of failure. Sasuke made up his mind. Before the downfall, he would set backup plans in case his main one does not work, to ensure his safety and the safety of the others. In the end, it all comes down to myself, and the sacrifices I have to make. From today, you are now an Anbu squad leader. Danza said as Itachi sat across him, just the two of them within a small room. It's not the foundation, but mission orders will come from me. There is no need to report to Hiruzen and his staff. This small detail should have been enough to show red alarm bells to Itachi, but... Yes. Itachi replied, head bowed. Without further pause, I have a mission for you. It's a simple assassination. The two behind you will assist you. Danza said. 2 people, donned in masks introduced themselves. Itachi would proceed to complete the mission, alongside those sent with him without hesitation and return to Danza. Good work. By the way, while you were away, the surveillance team that is covering the Uchiha reported that the Leaf Police is strengthening their armaments. What does this signify? Danza asked. Resentment towards the village has been increasing among the Uchiha. Itachi answered Danza, his head bowed and kneeling on one knee. So we can't ignore it? Danza questioned. No. Itachi replied with a straight face, showing no emotion, having grown his own share of resentment for his own clan. Later on, Itachi would go home at sunset to see his little brother. Welcome home, big brother. Sasuke amiably said. I'm going to go train. After all, Sasuke had officially started the academy now, where he will also probably be forced to stay within the village as well. I should at least score at the top of my class at least, otherwise I would be a disappointment to all reincarnated individuals. Unfortunately for Sasuke is that he was born with no other powers, or skills, or cheats to help him along. Only his consciousness, memories and plethora of knowledge that stems from his past life being taken advantage of. Want to come? Sasuke knew that Itachi would not, but this was a good way of checking the instability Itachi is displaying. Reading body language was also a part of Sasuke's training methods as well, for the older he gets, the harder it would be to decipher the motivations or characters of others. Something about being a child lets down the guard of adults. I'm exhausted from my mission. Itachi was most definitely looking older, and he is only supposedly 13 years of age at this point, while Sasuke is nearly 7. Really? And here I thought my big brother was more capable than that. Sasuke replied, only to receive a flick or poke to his head. Forgive me, Sasuke. Maybe some other time. Itachi said, walking inside. Forgive me for being selfish, as I fully knew about Danza's plot and allowed it to happen. I am selfish in this sense, but I would make the same decision again. Sasuke thought to himself, thinking that if he wasn't selfish, Itachi would not go down this path. Or maybe he still would. I can only steel myself even more for what's to come. You know about the clan meeting in 3 days, right? Fugaku asked, as Itachi moved along the outside of the house. No. Itachi replied, his voice lacking any warmth for his father, and if Sasuke was here, he would probably agree with the sentiment. Come alone to the Nakano shrine after the meeting. Fugaku said. Without your Anbu subordinates. I'll be leaving tomorrow on a mission away from the village. Don't run away. Run away. From what? From your Uchiha destiny. Do you understand? I'll be waiting. Comment. 12 comments. Vote. 1 left. Chapter 14, V.1C.1 for Uchiha Clan Downfall. Within the clan, only those that possess the Sharingan can read the stone tablet, and only then can they read a part of it. But with your Mangekyo Sharingan, you should be able to read further. So you want me to tell you what it says? That's not necessary. Mangekyo. Itachi is shocked to discover, his father also has his very own Mangekyo Sharingan. You have them too, father. It was during the Third Great Ninja War, where my friend gave his life to save me. Along with his tears of blood, the Mangekyo was born. The Uchiha's way to salvation is carved into this stone. But even with this Mangekyo Sharingan, the end cannot be deciphered. It seems that we still have a way to go. But even if it's part way, once you read it, you will understand Itachi. The current situation forced upon the Uchiha clan is wrong. Fugaku explained. Even so, to use force to overcome it is. Itachi tried to explain himself, but the higher-ups in the village fear us. That is why they persecute us, out of fear towards the Sharingan. Fugaku said. You're right. They fear that we will control the 9 tails with the power of the Sharingan. Itachi said. That's just the legend of Madara Uchiha. Since then, no one else has done something like that. We don't even know if anyone can. But the higher-ups cling to the ghosts of the past, and keep us at a distance, out of fear. Fugaku said. If they fear us, there is nothing else left to do, but for us to control them. Will you use force to become the Hokage? Itachi asked. It's because the clan wishes it. I can't stop them. But I want to avoid the use of brute force. That is why I kept my main Gekyo Sharingan a secret. Why? I can control the 9 tails with my main Gekyo Sharingan. If the clan learns of this, they would desire even more. Turning around, Fugaku activates his Sharingan against Itakai to show him something. Watch. There it was, Fugaku forced into a position where he has to use the Sharingan on the current Jinchuriki known only to the ninja higher-ups, and few others. The village would become destroyed in the process, even with Fugaku controlling the Kyuubi. That's. Itakai dropped on one of his knees. Many of the clan resent the village. When you're pushed into a corner, you'll resort to things like this. There will be much bloodshed on both sides. But Itakai, if you are with me, we can take them by surprise and restrain the higher-ups. Some fighting will ensue, but with your help as a member of the Anbu, a bloodless revolution can happen. Fugaku laid bare his plans before his eldest son. A bloodless revolution. Itakai, you're my son. Please. Save our clan. Fugaku finished. The Uchiha clan is intent on revolting against the Hidden Leaf. Itakai reported towards the third Hokage, Danza and advisors present, foregoing his father's ideas and plans, instead betraying his clan. There's no time to waste. We must strike preemptively before them. Danza of course offered his aggressive solution. The Uchiha were out-comrades in arms in past wars. I would like to use words first, before violence. The wise third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi added his input. I will come up with a way. Later on, Danza had gotten Itakai on his own, away from Hiruzen and the rest of those advisors. Despite what the third Hokage said, when push comes to shove, he will do whatever it takes to protect the Hidden Leaf. I want you to choose. Danza and Itakai were both outside, night time as the sky roared with thunder. Align with the Uchiha and launch the coup d'etat, and be slaughtered along with your family. Or side with the Leaf, and before they attempt a coup d'etat, eliminate every Uchiha except your younger brother. Eliminate the Uchiha. Itakai thought internally surprised as he gazed at Danza. In order to protect the Hidden Leaf, every possible step must be taken to avoid mayhem. The only one who can handle this mission is you, a double agent for both the Uchiha and the Leaf. There is no one else, Itakai. Danza continued. Will you accept this mission? Sasuke sat in the living room of the Uzumaki household, as he had taken Mikoto, his mother, out towards where Kushina and Naruto lived within the village. Reading some simple books that are meant to entertain, as the full moon lightened the place up as the lights had gone out. Sensing something, Sasuke knew that this is most probably the night, and with everything set in place, there was no turning back on the coming events. Right. I guess it is my turn then. Sasuke, getting up, started to release the gravity seal in place, which immediately started to show some effects. My body feels incredibly lighter than before. Of course, this is the result that he wanted, and he also wasn't stupid enough to get used to the power of his current physical form before heading off into potentially dangerous territories. Having received as much information as he could, Sasuke transmitted himself to the mark left in his room back at the Uchiha compound. In his home, Sasuke had already stashed away everything important, hidden in certain places he memorized perfectly through the Sharingan. From what I remember, Itakai will be attacking the civilians, while Obito will be going after the shinobi forces within the police force of Konoha. I want to stay as far away from Obito as I can, given that he can probably sense I am currently one of the Jinchuriki. Of course, it may not matter anyway because Zetsu should be able to still locate and identify Sasuke, if it hadn't already. Whatever. I must minimize the likelihood of failure. Sasuke had been training his stealth abilities, even when being such a massive source of chakra due to the Kyuubi, he managed to have exceptional control simply because he had been doing chakra control exercises since a babe. Moving through his house, Sasuke managed to go outside as the stars and moon above shone a brilliant and irradiant light. I do wonder just how conscious Kaguya Otsutsuki is. Keeping to the shadows, and dressed in clothing that would make him blend in, Sasuke knew that it would probably be better if he stays completely out of sight. Given that the Sharingan is able to see chakra and able to identify it, Sasuke needed to be careful in using his chakra completely. So he stayed away from using any genjutsu, ninjutsu and anything else that would indicate his presence. The bare minimum is some taijutsu, and stealth techniques meant to keep himself hidden. Even using a shadow clone would be dangerous. Sasuke didn't want his disguise to be immediately seen through if anyone manages to perceive him. Wait. Sasuke stopped, sensing the approach of Itachi from a ways away. Damn it. Well, I guess I will have to use the Hiraishin seal and knock out some people as I take them to that safe area. Of course Sasuke had allocated an area completely secluded and good enough to at least house the civilian Uchiha. Sasuke started to teleport throughout the households, knocking out people through the use of some basic Senbon techniques, and the civilians were defenseless. Damn it. Itachi is too fast. Sasuke noticed already he had made his way and started killing people off, left, right and center. Picking up his speed, Sasuke made sure to be as stealthy as possible, but his inherent desire for survival overcome any heroic deeds he may do, forcing him to cut his plan short and leave. At least I had captured all of the children. As that was Sasuke's priority first, he targeted the younger Uchiha people, but he would not take the risk of saving any of the Uchiha ninja, even if they were young as well, because it would be too much of a risk. While most Uchiha don't really have access or awaken the Sharingan, that doesn't mean that there isn't any at all that would be able to get a glimpse of himself. Again, I must not die. Sasuke reasoned with himself, knowing not to push his limitations. Shifting constantly, especially with a large amount of people, even put a strain Sasuke's chakra reserves. Damn it. Even with all of this training, the ki will be sealed within me and other factors, I am only barely able to keep up with all of this stuff. Sasuke was selling himself short here, for he had actually rescued a lot of people, enough to even drain him, as he is now of his chakra reserves. At least this is in some way good training and experience. Sasuke pulled some positive from the rather grim events happening right as of this instant. Sasuke prioritized the children, but he made sure to take the women next as well, given that is how the humans like prioritize things. Sorry old people and men, but there is only so much I can do myself. But he didn't manage to save all of the women, practically making at least half of the children he rescued orphaned. After being done, Sasuke teleported back towards the Uzumaki residence and proceeded to sleep, or at least that is what it seemed like, for he in fact took control of a random bird so that he may at least see the impact, alongside the differences that may happen. I covered my tracks adequately, I just hope I mitigated all of the possible flaws to their minimum. Within the body of the bird, Sasuke managed to arrive at the carnage, that was not as gruesome or as brutal as it could have been if he didn't intervene. This is what I see for the future of the village, and for the clan. Sasuke had just arrived to see Itachi confront Fugaku. Well, I can't save everyone and I don't need to either. Sasuke thought to himself, looking all over and taking in the ruthlessness that Itachi managed to do. And here I thought he would be different for some reason. Sasuke thought, referring to Itachi, but also towards Fugaku. He had hoped either of these two people would be different, but his assumptions about Fugaku's character were true, and what he knows about Itachi is affirmed. I see. Fugaku responded. Sasuke, eh? Fugaku thought to himself, before dispersing into nothing, showing that the Fugaku there was in fact a shadow clone. Following after Itachi whom went towards their home, Sasuke knew that he was probably at the limits of what he could surveil due to his current bird status. Whatever, I can still utilize my ability to hear, if not see. Over here. There are no traps. Come inside. Fugaku called, where Sasuke in bird form came as close as possible without alerting anyone, not Fugaku or Itachi. One may be wondering how Sasuke was able to get himself and his mother out of this situation, and this is via shadow clones, where the surveillance team would be unable to tell that Sasuke was imitating his mother and had another clone act as him there. Knowing how everything is going down, no one would be able to trace anything to me or my mother. Sasuke thought to himself, listening to Itachi and Fugaku exchange words. Father. I do not want to participate in a death match with my own son. I see, you've aligned with the other side. Fugaku said as Itachi approached with his blade drawn. Father. Itachi was confused, as he had not seen his mother yet. Itachi, promise me this. Live on, and make sure the Uchiha do not die. The changes Sasuke had brought had even dissolved any love Fugaku might have had for his youngest son due to Sasuke not wanting to associate with him. However, if your mother were here, she would have told you to look after Sasuke. Fugaku still had to have some amount of affection for his child, even if it may not be all that much at all. I will. Itakai struggled a bit, for he hesitated to strike his father down, even if he may not be considered a good father. Do not fear. This is the path you have chosen. Compared to yours, my pain will end in an instant. Something that I wish for you to do for your mother as well. Our philosophies may differ, but I am proud of you. You are truly a kind child. As Fugaku finished, Itakai was crying and struck his father down, there and then. Creator's thoughts. Link_ID. Harem suggestions. Comment. 47 comments. Vote. 1 left. Chapter 15, V.1C.15 Uchiha Clan Downfall 2. Things were not over however, as Sasuke would be making sure to track down, through the bird and collect as much valuable information as he can. I am glad I managed to rescue all that I could, but the night isn't over just yet. It's over. Itakai appeared with his Anbu mask on, right next to the masked individual going around with the identity of Madara Uchiha, but was in fact Obito Uchiha. You're. However, Obito stopped there. Never mind. Shall we go? Go on ahead. I am going to confirm things, with the leaf higher-ups. Itakai responded, and with that, Obito teleported himself away. Rejoining Itakai, he is currently kneeling before the third Hokage. First, you have my thanks. Civil war has been averted in the Hidden Leaf. We have maintained peace. Yes. Itakai responded. However, I regret that there was no other way to achieve this. Hiruzen continued. I apologize. Itakai replied. I'm the one who must apologize. You will now be branded a Rouge ninja who massacred his whole clan, and be listed in the bingo book as a fugitive, wanted dead or alive. That goes without saying. What will you do from now on? I found aid from a group called the Akatsuki. I intend to stay close to them, so that a promise is not broken. Itakai stated before he went on his leave, gaining ground away from the village and appearing on its outskirts, as an outsider. What do you want now? Itakai asked as his two Anbu team members came from the shadows and trees. You're a Rouge ninja listed in the bingo book, Captain. An S-class, no less. As Foundation members, we want to make it appear like we pursued you. Please go easy on us. Both of Itakai said at the same time, as they proceeded to scuffle for a bit. Your swordsmanship hints at more than just appearances. Itakai declared. The Sharingan won't work. We won't look into your eyes. Both of Itakai's former allies went in for the kill, only to fail and discover that it was in fact a genjutsu. A genjutsu. One of their voices was strained at saying this in surprise. How? Itakai dropped down and looked down at the two as they lay there, dying with swords pierced through each other's hearts. When you first came to me as my subordinates, I did a suggestion in case you turned your sword on me. You didn't trust us, from the very beginning. I was a double agent. I see through the eyes of both the lead and the Uchiha. To be frank, I don't know whose spy I was, even to this day. Itakai reported the mission's success to the third Hokage. The third, having been unaware of Itakai's assignment from Danza, regretted to hear the news. With nothing to be done about it now, the third promised to perpetuate the cover story that Itakai had acted alone and without cause so that nobody would learn of the Uchiha's plans, and also so that Konoha would not be tarnished for its involvement. Most important to Itakai, the third vowed to keep Sasuke safe from Danza. In the anime, the third also ordered the dissolution of Danza's root and his removal from the council as punishment for acting without his permission. Itakai then left the village, joining the organization Akatsuki, in order to reinforce his image as a criminal. In actuality, he monitored Akatsuki from the inside, keeping Konoha informed of its actions and preventing the organization from moving against the village. Itakai also threatened to reveal all of Konoha's confidential information to foreign forces should Danza bring harm to Sasuke. Of course, Sasuke himself did not come across Itakai before he left, kept his mother hidden and the rest of the other survivors he saved hidden for the remainder of the night. The only thing now is how the aftermath is going to be dealt with. Sasuke thought to himself. He couldn't sleep, not an ounce of sleep due to the unrest of the incident. As the moon set and the sun rose in the early morning, Sasuke had not gotten any sleep at all, anxious about how to deal with this. I really didn't think I would get this far, or even have any courage to go through with my plan. Sasuke believed to be cowardly the best option, always. So it comes to a slight surprise that he actually did something that broke a mold of his character. I could just go with the good old mysterious letter and mysterious savior trick. It would work, but this event is too massive to not have people looking into it some more. After a while of weighing the pros and cons, Sasuke spent the whole rest of the night deliberating what to do. Okay. Seemingly coming up with something, Sasuke proceeds to just go with the whole letter plan and would lean on something created from previous experiences, so it doesn't just come out of nowhere. Let's make sure the letters written are under the same style as the one I created for the Hyuga incident. This would help alleviate some attention, and most importantly it would have people running around to try and discover this mysterious benefactor of several peoples. First the Hyuga within Konoha, and then the Uchiha, whom would be thought to be believed dead. Looking outside towards the window, Sasuke saw that the sun was finally rising. The coming aftermath should be interesting. Awakening, Mikoto was not surprised that she had stayed over at her friend's place, as she often got used to doing so. Only because of Sasuke and his safety, she worried about him a lot, but she also guesses that it is fine to be around Kushina a lot more considering most things that happened. I am glad though that Sasuke and Naruto seem to be getting along. This thought brought a smile to Mikoto's face. Even more so, I do believe I have seen him get along rather nicely with the girls as well. This even more so made her giggle a bit. Getting up, Mikoto had slept in one of the guests' rooms, before moving herself over to glance at the time. Throughout the world, there have been many instances of modern-day technology being used by shinobi or ordinary people. It would be remiss of one to think that there are absolutely no such things. Batteries, cameras, basic computers and even telephones were available, so something as simple as a watch or even method to perceive the measure of one's time relative to the world would be available. In fact, this very world is a weird mix of a few eras of Sasuke's previous world in one, but we are viewing the world from Mikoto's view, whom has grown a little more accustomed to such devices. Moving into the living room, Mikoto was surprised to see that her child was awake, given that it is the weekend. Sasuke. What are you doing up so early? She could see that he seemed to be tired. I couldn't sleep. Sasuke replied. Really? Was it a nightmare? Mikoto assumed so, and this would be a first as well, but that was not what was troubling Sasuke. No. I just didn't feel sleepy. Sasuke replied. By the way, this letter came all of a sudden from some bird. It was addressed to you. What? Mikoto received the letter from Sasuke, before promptly opening it up, and upon reading it, Mikoto couldn't believe her eyes. Did you really get this from a bird? Mikoto would not instantly believe what she is reading, but there was something about it that called to her. In fact, the letter not only gave her this feeling, but the overall mood she was getting from this day is quite sad. Sasuke. You will stay here with your aunt, okay? Mikoto wanted to immediately go and discover what is going on. The first place she would be going is the Uchiha compound to check what is going on. And if what I read is true, I need to immediately go to the Hokage. Mikoto thought to herself, having already gotten a hold of any chaotic emotions at this point. Never mind the fact that her husband died, given their love wasn't even a thing, but that her child, Itakai, is supposedly the instigator of such a thing. The letter told her that he is some sort of rogue ninja now, listed within the bingo book, and it was because of his actions that took place the night before. I was gone but a few hours from here, not even a day had passed. Okay mother. I will stay with Aunt Kushina. Sasuke replied, his face devoid of any emotion. In fact, Mikoto was starting to think she had given birth to children that held no emotions or showed such emotions. After all, even though Itakai became the way he is, Sasuke on the other hand seemed to be hiding his emotions from the start, or didn't have any at all. Okay. I will be back soon, okay? Mikoto was anxious enough about this information, even more so to leave her child here. Soon enough, Mikoto made her way through the village, early morning, where a few people were setting up stalls on the streets or otherwise doing their own things. It didn't take long for her to get to the Uchiha district, and the smell of blood hit her strongly. Mikoto's eyes transformed into her own Sharingan, fully evolved and taking in the area. She was a ninja herself before retiring and becoming a housewife, not that she was amongst the best, but that didn't change. She still had access to her skills. Dead bodies that were supposed to litter the streets were not there, but the blood. The blood of many people was still present, having not been washed away or cleaned just yet. What happened? She was holding out to the possibility that no children died, as that would mean her attack eye was more of a monster then. After checking everywhere, even her husband's body was not anywhere to be seen, so she would not be able to know who died. I will confront the Hokage. Mikoto got away from the scene, empty streets and empty homes filled with nothing but stains of red. The third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, was saddened over the events that had taken place. A disciple of the village's two previous Hokage, Hiruzen was a powerful ninja, hailed as a god of shinobi. Though he was only ever directly the teacher of the Sannin, generations of Konoha shinobi benefited from his wisdom during his lifetime. If only I could have done better. Hiruzen was saddened, but what was done is now done, making way for what is currently going to change a lot of things. Then a letter happened to drop into his office somehow, past the protection and security of his Anbu. Even Hiruzen himself was unable to feel anything before the letter got close enough, lending to the situation he finds himself in. How? Lord Hokage. I am sorry for not sensing this. An Anbu appeared and bowed. If I may look this item over. They wanted to make sure it was safe from causing the Hokage harm. No, it is all right. Of course Hiruzen had easily forgiven the Anbu, for if even he was unable to sense this letter's appearance, then there was no way the Anbu would be able to either. You may return to your posts. If I was wanted dead or poisoned, then this would not be the method to do it by. After all, it was not hidden completely, and revealed in front of him in full. Yes. The Anbu retreated to their positions, hiding away and protecting the Hokage. Before the Hokage was going to open this letter up within his office, he was interrupted by one person he most certainly wasn't expecting. Lord Third. Mikoto came into the office, undisturbed, for even the Anbu knew not how to react to seeing an Uchiha alive, let alone the now widowed Mikoto Uchiha. Standing up from his seat, Hiruzen is surprised. Mikoto. I had thought. Lord Third. I demand to know what is going on, and demand to know where the bodies of the Uchiha have been taken. Mikoto also wanted to check on what the letter stated, given it is important as to whether or not an entirety of the Uchiha died off. Of course.